Hello, everybody. Annie here from Stamp Anything. We are going to do a little color along tonight. I don't even know if this is actually streaming yet, but we are going to check that out. If you just give me a second, I just want to make sure that everything is going where it's supposed to be because I'm not quite sure where that goes on YouTube. It's working on Facebook, but I don't see where it's going. Yeah, I have no idea. It's supposed to be streaming to YouTube. I only see it streaming so far to yeah, to the Facebook group. So let's see. I always thought that there was a tab that said live, so I'm not quite sure where that is, and I guess we'll just have to figure that out on another day. But yeah, Kevin is actually messaging right now. Let me just type to him really quick. I see it on Facebook, but not YouTube, so not sure. All right, yeah, we're using a new system for 2024. It says that I'm connected to YouTube, but I don't know hmm, where it's supposed to be. Um, Not a clue. I guess something didn't get connected correctly. Oh well, I will just stream it, record it, and try to post it on later on. So, anyways, hello everybody. If I don't see your message, it says you're doing bingo. What? End of your message with Annie, and I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Hold on. I don't know what you mean. Look it. If there isn't a blooper in one of our videos, then you know it's not a Stamp Anything video, right? You guys are used to that. I don't know if I'm going to be able to see the messages in here. I don't know how they show up yet on the chat forum. So in the system that we're using, because I think it just says Facebook user. It doesn't say your name when I'm looking at it. So if you know, be patient with me. We'll figure it all out. But we are going to get started. At least it's going to Facebook. And like I said, I'll just pop it up to Kevin keeps messaging here. Yeah, I can't fix that right now. I'm in the middle of a live. But oops, boop, boop, boop. So we're going to be doing our cute little Tina Turner. So let's go ahead and go to the desk and get started. This there. Okay, can you hear me when it's on a split screen? I'll just wait until, and now I have double hearing here. Hold on, I gotta turn the volume off here. Okay, sorry about that. Now you can hear me. Yes? Okay, so I guess I have to leave the stupid split screen up because you have to plug your phone in. I couldn't even put my mic on. It's a hot mess. Who knows if we'll actually end up using this, but let's get started. We are going to start with our scan. I already have her printed out. Ugh, I got to switch glasses because these are my computer glasses. These are my coloring glasses. I'm going to be doing a different skin tone. It's so funny because now if I have to read your comments, I have to go like this to read and this to color. So y'all just have to bear with me when I have to go read. But okay, anyway, so we are going to start coloring. I am going to be using a different dark tone than I normally use. It's a little bit lighter than my dark tone that we normally use. So it's more of like a medium dark tone. So we will be using E99, E33. You could put in E34 if you'd like to as well. E53, 51, and R20. Okay, so that is my medium dark skin tone. So here we go with our E99. Let's see if that'll pop up on the screen there. It's so weird. There is a delay, which is so much fun. Anyways, okay, so here we go with our darkest color, our E99. Again, I always do my bodies and then I do my faces later. I have the camera also kind of at an angle so that hopefully everyone always would say, oh, your hand's always blocking when you're coloring. So I'm trying to get it so it's off a little so that at least you can see where we are putting the color as we're putting the color down. Normally my hand would be covering it, and then I usually, would go like this so you could see where we put the color. But, some people were just like, I can't see. So we trying something different here. So here again, E99, and I am just putting my darkest to the left side of my Tina's body, and this is going to be uh, my thinnest line. Also, sorry about if you have to hear my sons watching a African weird uh, movie where like everyone ends up getting killed by predators and a tribe guy. But again, I couldn't put my microphone on because I had to plug the phone in to do the streaming. Yeah, it's a mess. Now we're going into our E33. So again, just going to go over that E99 and just extend it out a little bit. I'll still move my hand out of the way because I'm just used to doing it that way all the time. Put down a layer of color, move out of the way so you can see where it's at. But we're just going over that previous line and extending it out. Okay, and I didn't get them yet. I did get the Ohuhu skin set. I have the Ohuhu 216 set, I believe it is, we bought. And I actually had the skin set, but I couldn't find it. I don't know where it's somewhere in this house with everything else. So I ordered another set so that I can start giving you guys some comparisons and choices for when you want to use Ohuhu, since that seems to be what a lot of people are starting to buy. Okay. Hi, Paul. Hi, B. Can't really see everybody because I have the wrong glasses on. I see Betty's here. I gotta scroll. It's not. Yeah, it is difficult to block when you're coloring, but I get that all the time. People always say that I'm blocking. I'm blocking. So I'm trying to do, Okay, back to these glasses. Okay, now with my E51, which is my final color, I'm just going to. I did do a full Ohu coloring on my project that I did for the craft roulette this past weekend. I was like, let me just use all Ohuhus. But since I didn't have all of the colors to do a good skin tone, it came out a little pastier, paler than I would have liked. So I just wanted to get some more colors for that. And then, but all the other colors, like the blues and the greens, they all blended really lovely. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to do this skin tone one more time. Same exact thing we just put down, beginning with our E99. Just goes a little bit faster because we already put the colors down and we know where everything is going. And we're just going to kick up the vibrancy by putting down that second layer, and it also will help it blend a little bit better because our paper will be saturated now. So E99, and then we're going to go into our E33. And again, sometimes I do use E34 after my E33, but she's so tiny and skinny, and I didn't think I'd get all the colors in her otherwise. And this is just, I know some people have issues doing dark skin tones because they're so afraid to use such the stark colors. So this is just a good alternative. It's a little bit lighter than what I normally use. So you don't have to be so intimidated with those darker browns. And when it all comes together, she just will look beautiful. So Tina Turner, she had those beautiful gams and those beautiful toned arms. I mean, she was completely the most fit. She had the best legs, did she not? I think she had wonderful legs. So we're almost done with our body here. And then we can move on to her adorable face. You got that nice transition in the skin. And you can see she's got kind of like a really pretty caramelly color, which I really love a lot too. Okay. And now we're going to go back with our markers and we're going to start the whole entire process, but now we're going to do her face. So the face I do just a little bit different. Obviously, it's a bigger area to color, so you have to adjust your markers a little bit. But we're back with our E99. Now we're just going to put a little bit in that ear and her other ear. And then we're going to go underneath her hairline. And then I also like to start to get the shape of her eye. So I'm not going to go too far down, but I'm just going to go and start forming the circle around her eye, like so. And then I like to also add just a little to the left of the nose and the mouth. And then we're going to go in with our E33. And now because her face is so much a bigger area than her body, I need to bring this color down because we only have 2 markers left. And if I didn't, she's really not going to look like a dark skin tone. She'll end up looking more milky, pale with these colors. So with our E33, and this is why I said you can add in that E34 if you don't want to have that big jump in the number. That's all we're going to do here. So I'm just bringing down that skin tone from her forehead a little bit further. And then I'm just going to, again, go around a little bit further down on that eye shape. I was confused if here or YouTube. You don't see anything. Yeah, I don't. We're supposed to stream to YouTube. I guess the settings wrong. I don't know what happened, so we'll have to figure that out. Yeah, I don't know. Now with our E53, this thing is supposed to be like the easy system where you just stream and it's supposed to go to multiple places, but as you can see, not working so well. With my E53, I'm going to actually connect also around her eye completely now. So I'm just going to slowly kind of feather out and get that circle around her eye. Make sure I do the same thing and hopefully get the same white, diameter around the other eye as well. And then I'm also going to connect down from her bottom cheeks all the way across. And then I'm going to bring this down. It's not going to blend right away. You guys know that, especially with the browns. You're going to be able to fix that better with your next layer. And then in with my E51, I'm just going to go ahead and be able to blend the rest. So she might look a little wonky, right? She's a little uneven, totally okay. Again, we didn't get really saturated here. Okay. I hit the unpin thing. I'll have to go into Facebook settings too. I don't know why they have this star thing in there. Facebook is really weird too. In our shop on Facebook, like sometimes they'll give out discounts, but it's not on our shop. So I don't know if Facebook is offering the discount. I don't know. Like if they're really weird in that whole meta thing, which I don't understand. Back with our E99, but they definitely don't make it easy. And then you go and you change settings, and then you find out that those settings weren't changed. Because I'm pretty sure we took that star stuff off on the last when we played bingo. Oh, gotta also reinforce these eyes again. A little bit on that nose. Okay. And then, E33. And you'll see that it will start blending a lot nicer now that we have that second layer. Let's bring down that part of her eyes a little bit. Just bringing that down. And then in with my E53. Those ears are pretty much all filled in at this point. They're super tiny. I'm gonna go around the whole eye. Again, connecting that. Also blend out that little area on the nose and mouth. And then we can bring this down. I'm just doing circular motions to really get it to blend and smooth. And then cheek to cheek and around the lips. And then the final color, I know you have a comment on there, Paul. Let me just finish this before we get too dry here, so I can read what you said, because I have to switch to my other glasses as well. Okay. And we're just going to continue. Circles really help smooth, instead of just going back and forth when you need to. And again, if you feel that you need that E34 in there, by all means, use your E34. Okay, so let's see what question. Okay. Annie, I always seems to get too dark around the top and edges and too light in the middle. What would you suggest? Do you mean around for the eyes or the face head in general? You always have to just adjust where you're putting the markers down. So obviously we used a lot less of bringing and extending on the legs than we do in the face, because the face is such a bigger area. I like to have that lighter area in the center of my face. On dark, it's a little bit different than opposed to when you're doing a pale face, because that way you can have it so much more. But basically, your darkest color is just there as the shadow. So that should be just a thin line and a hint underneath where those shadows would be. And then you're going to start bringing it down. And what I like to do is I have placement holders. So like for me, like I know usually by my third or fourth color is going to be the whole bottom part of the face. For me, it's the E00 on the light skin. On here, it was the E53. So you kind of have points where you're going. So when I start doing it, I always do ear to ear with my darkest one. And then I start blending down with that as well, usually up to where the eyebrows are. And then that third color is going down on the bottom of the face and blending up and then bringing that top down a little bit. So I just usually have just like the T-zone of her face where the lightest color would go. So keep that in mind. Just kind of keep focal points of where you want your colors to end. And that's going to come with practice as you go as well. Of, of what look you like. Some people like, not to have a lighter area or a bigger lighter area. That's going to be your personal preference. But we need to give our lady some cheeks here. And I like adding the cheeks because I also think it reinforces the white around the eyes. So this is my R20, sorry that. And I just kind of flip it out into the center of her face. And I do it twice so it gets a nice pinky color. Kevin hates because he always says, I'm always like, I want more blush on them when he does them digitally, but I do like them. And then my E51, I'm just going to hit up to soften those edges of the cheek. Now she's got some nice colors to her cheek as well. Well, with anything, it just is going to take practice. So, even if you just stamp just only heads and just do heads over and over again, then you're going to get it. That's all you got to do. Okay. All right. So I had decided I wanted her to be in a red sparkly dress. So I am going to pull some red markers. And I decided that because I had already cut out my frame. So I'm just going to, because this is going to be a very clean and simple card as well. So for reds, let's see, we are going to go and grab, I like to use R89, R46, R08, and R21. So I'm going to use those for our little sparkly dress here. So we're going to start now, because we're going to try and make it sparkly. You don't really got to worry about trying to get like a ton of shading with the folds per se, because we're going to hide a lot of that with kind of the sparkle as well. But you still need to have those shadows and that base underneath it. And what we're aiming to do is kind of having, I want to have the center part of her dress and then a little over to the right to be a little bit lighter to catch the light. So with my R89, I'm going to put down my darkest color, and I'm going to just go straight down like so, but I'm going to flip it out a little bit. So I'm not even coming out, what is that? Not even well, maybe it's a quarter part of her dress there. And then I'm also under her bosom on the side. We want that little bit of a dip of a shadow where her bosom would be, and then the waist. Okay, and that's all we really need to do right now. Oh, and her shoe. We're going to put just a little in the back heel of her shoe. Okay. Next, we're going to take our R46 and we're going to extend this out. Remember, I want to leave a lighter area in the center of her dress. So I'm going to fan that out. We're going to get over here because we need to blend this area as well. And then what I'm going to do on this side, I flip it so it makes so easier for me. We're going to go almost to the edge. We're going to leave just a little sliver of white on the edge. And then we're going to go and put in the rest of her little shoe there. Oops. I said bosom. I did say bosom. Now we're going to go in with R08. And we're going to extend this again. Again, we're leaving that little bit of slither in the center of her for that lightest color. so. And then we're going with our R21, which is a really pale pink here, but we're going to fill this in. And you do have to, oh, I forgot to do her shoe. We'll go back to the shoe net. You are going to have to work this R21 quite a bit with your little circular motions. It doesn't need to like be the smoothest blend, but you just want to soften up those edges. Again, we're going to be covering this with our dots and our sparkles. So it doesn't have to be crazy, amazingly blended, but you want it to be a little bit smooth like so. So you see how she's got that thinner, light area down the center of her dress. Her shoes. So I forgot we were on R08. R08, we are going to finish a good chunk of the front of her shoe. And then that R21 is just going to extend it over. Oh my goodness, you know what I didn't do? I forgot to do her hand on the microphone. Did anyone else forget to do their hand on the microphone? I did. Because I did. Just gonna take 2 seconds to do these because it's very, very small. So I'm just using that E99. I'm just gonna put in, I only need to do 1 layer of it as well because it's so freaking small. And E53. All right. Okay, now she's better. There we go. All right, Miss Tina. All righty, Miss Tina. Okay, so now we are going to do our stippling effect, which is using your markers. Now you can't put your R89 in your R89 area because it's the same color. Yes, you will be getting a little bit of a variation because, you know, if you were to, I can't do it on here because, hello, do I have a scrap piece of paper? Yeah. So with any of the Copic markers, which is really awesome, well, this is probably too dark to do, but let's do it with the R08. When you put down the 1 layer, it's going to be 1 color, and then if you let it dry a little bit, and then you go over it again, but just in certain areas, you can build on that color over and over and over again. And you will get those different tones in there of the color. Okay, so even though we have our R89 on top of our R89 doing the dots, they're going to first blend into them really, really smoothly. So what it's not about putting them on that same color. It's about that transition of that line going into the next section of color. So we're just going to be putting in, and we're not going to do a ton of them, but we're going to put them a little bit dark in the darkest area, and which means you're condensing your dots together. And then they get a little looser going over into the next color. Okay, and the harder you push down, the bigger your dot's going to be, so you don't really want to do that. You want to use really little pressure getting that in there. So I just put the R89 going into that second color of our R46. And then I'm going to take my R46. Hold on, this just popped up. And yes, Kevin, R46, we're going to be going into where we put that R08 color. But I'm still going over some of that other color where we were at. But you see, I'm just sporadically putting them. If you try and think of where you're going to put your dots, they're going to end up in a line as well. And you don't want that because you want them to kind of, you know, go over the place and be random. And now our R08 can easily go in that section where we had the lighter. Okay. So it doesn't look very sparkly, obviously, right? It just looks like, okay, you just put polka dots on her. So there's a few things that you do that really helps with this. The first thing is you can put your gel dots down, and then you put a Copic marker over it, and then you use gel pen again at a later point um, for the white. So what I'm going to do first is now I have different gel pens, as I'm sure you guys do too. So this is a medium point gel pen. This is a Jelly Roll. And then I also have a fine point, and I have no idea what brand this one is because look, it doesn't have a brand on it. But I love this one. It's probably my favorite gel pen that I own. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my Jelly Roll one first because I want kind of bigger dots at this point. And I'm just going to randomly place them down on her dress. Okay, nothing crazy. And then I just want to wait for them to dry because when we're going to have these dry, we're going to go over them with a Copic marker colored because then it's going to tone those down. Okay, so we just don't want to make sure that they're not going to smear. So what we'll do in the meantime while those are drying, let's go in and we can color her mouth. So for her mouth, I'm going to do R46 for her tongue. And then I'm going to do the R89 for the shadow on her tongue. Okay. And then back with that R46, I'm just going to blend it out a little bit. And then for her lips, what I'm going to do, for her lips, I'm going to take my R08, but I'm just going to hit the bottom portion of the lip. And then with my R21, so it looks like her lips got a little bit of a shine to it. And I didn't have to end up doing that with a white colored pencil or anything like that. I don't know if you can see that clearly. And now our dots should probably be done. So I'm going to take my R08 and I'm just going to cover up those dots. And you can see how it gives another layer of the color because it's a little desaturated because you're going over the white gel pen. And so they're also a different color than when you put just your RO8 on it. And it shows up mostly in those darker areas. And then when you're done with that, you can take a fine, if you happen to have a fine point gel pen, and then put in, let's get this started, and then put in some more of the sparkles. Again, just randomly placed on her outfit. And then you can also put the little cross star. It's like a cross, but with 3 lines on it, I guess. This. And just kind of have it hit on different areas of her dress to give her her little bit of sparkle and shine. Now we are off. We can do, we should probably do her earrings really quick. We can let's do those in gold at the end. So let's just put this aside and we're going to start her hair. And I'm going to tell you now, I hate wavy hair. I'm not the best at wavy hair. That is my disclaimer. So yeah, we'll see how it comes out. But for her hair, we're going to be doing them with the Hills and the Valley. And they're not always the easiest thing to do in hers because she has open hair with not a lot of lines. You kind of have to figure it out a little bit more. But we're going to do E79, E27, E57, 23, and 84. Okay. So much fun. So with our E79, we're going to start in the dips, which is the valleys of the hair. And this is our darkest color, our E79. So we really want to put it kind of sparingly. So I'm just making this little U shaped here in these little dark areas of where the valley in the hair would be. Okay, and you don't go crazy with this colored marker because um, it's super dark, especially with the rest of the combination that I'm gonna have going with it. Okay, so I'm just putting it in these few places where she has her valleys. I probably missed one. I wouldn't be surprised if I missed one, and then I'll find it later. And then the dark part is also going to be your part, but I'm not going to do it with this dark, dark color. Let's see, did I get all of that? Oh, here's a valley. I missed this one. I think we got them. All right. And now I'm going to go in with my E27, and I'm going to start building out the valley. So it's kind of starting to go up to the hill. Okay, just blending out that dark, dark color. It's just going to help with the transition of getting into that lighter color. Okay. And then I'm also going to take this to do some of these other areas that are going to be a little bit dark, but not as dark as what's in the valley. So I'm just going to be going over some of these corner edges of her hair here. Mm, like so. And I have to concentrate on um, wavy hair. So if anyone is asking any questions, I will get back with you as soon as I am finished in the next section. Because she's got a lot going on with this hair. I can tell you that much. There's a lot of movement to it. So, and I always forget a spot of where to go when I'm doing this kind of hair. Okay. So we're just now going around some of these outsides. Let's see. Probably a little bit in here where that part kind of would be. I'm assuming, I'm guessing. We'll figure that out as we go as well. We'll do the back side of her hair at the end. Okay, then we're going to go in with our E57. And again, we're just going to build it out a little bit more. But this time we want to build it not just outside, but start going up because this part of the valley still needs to be darker than the hill. So if we were just keeping extending it, by the time you add your light, you're going to have the light going around the whole part. So we just want to extend this out also towards that other side where the two connecting valleys go together. I don't know technically how else to explain it, but the two dips, I guess you can say, where they kind of line up. And they're not all going to line up. Like this one lines up really well, but like over here, they start to curve, so they don't. So you just got to kind of be a little bit just aware of how they're going. But again, as long as you catch that highlight part of it at the end, no one's going to notice if you did a blooper here and there. And if they do, you could be like, well, where's the card you colored? If they're going to critique you. Let's see their coloring, right? Oh, see, there was a valley there too. I missed too, so we'll have to come back. But we can always do that on the second layer as well when we figure out where we need adjustments. All right, so back to E20, well, not back to, sorry. Now we're going to go in with E23. And this is going to be the lightest color in the valley. but we also want to start extending those bottom pieces. And you could just work on one section at a time if needed, because again, like there's so much going on with the ups and downs of everything. I usually probably would have done smaller sections at one time. But my first layer, whenever I do any coloring, is usually never right of where I want everything to be. And that's why I love doing two layers because then I always know where I can self adjust in that second part for where I want, like, if I had it too pink, I could add, move my reds over a little bit further and then I can get it to read more red. So, and and it's not even about just two layers. I mean, you can do three and four layers. I mean, you can just keep building and manipulating the colors as much as you need. And I do that a lot too. It's how I learn is by doing it like that. Now her hair looks really wonky, right? Probably like this does not look good, but you have to fix. You just have to wait and trust in the process to the end. So this is our final color, which is the E84. And this is going to be really easy because you're just really going to connect everything. Trust me, it's going to look like she has camouflage hair for a few minutes. I'm not even joking. It's going to look like a camouflage, like she's a spotted cow or something. But when we go in with that second layer to blend it all together, um, did it go off camera? Sorry, let me move over. I think it's a little closer than I expected. Trust me, it looks crazy, but it will when we go back and the colors start to meld together. And they will. Just gotta get the big picture of everything saturated really well. And then we can go and self adjust. Okay. So now what we do, get this over here. We're going to go back with the second to the last color we used, which is with our E23, because then we can flip these into our hill. And I kind of work with them at the same time and then take my E84 to blend and smooth it so it's going to blend together. So I kind of do each hill and valley at the same time now with the blending. I hope that makes sense. It's kind of like how we did her cheeks. You have to blend so the harsh lines aren't there anymore. That's all we're doing with this together. So just hitting up on those ends. I'm going to do two at this time right here really quick since they're close together. It's just going to soften. And then you're going to repeat this going backwards with your darker colors. And it'll soften with each one that you start doing. And again, because just like I showed you with the reds, the more you keep building those colors on top of one another, the more variation you're going to get in the depth of the color as well. And this E84, when it lightens up, it's really like a goldeny blonde color. Let's see, we have to do some of this down here. Message. probably looks like a gray brown on camera, but it's not when it lightens up. And if you didn't get really good hills, don't worry because you can fix that with a gel pen or a um, colored pencil as well. Wait, did I put the right way? Okay, so now I'm going to go back and I'm going to just deepen some of the valleys. So I'm going back, nope, not with the darkest color, second darkest color, the E27, and just going to hit that up just a little bit here and there. And then with your E57, soften that out and fan it. And then back with that E23, which is the one we just used. Soften that. And it's just building those depths of those darker areas in those spots of her hair. And then one more time, going over the edges with that E84, blending it through. Ooh, that got juicy really quick. All right. Now we're just going to do the underside of her hair. So in the little hole where this earring is going to be dark. So I'm just using that E79. And then I'm just going to go on the underside of her face. Just to get that darkest part of the color in there. And then with our E27, just start to blend it out just a little. There's not going to be a lot of that light color down here because this is behind her as well. Then your E57. I'm just going to fill that right down there. And then I'm going to finish it off with her E23. And again, she's not going to have, I'm just going to leave a little white area on the big poofs for the lightest highlight. But these little ones by the earring, it's not really going to see the light color. Now, even though this was completely filled, I still go over it with that my final color, my E84, because it just smooths all those lines out because there's more alcohol in this marker than in the other one. So it just helps to blend. Oop, went over her earring, but that's okay. Let's give her the red earrings then, because the yellow might not cover that up well enough since that. Yeah. So back with my reds really quick, my R89. I'm gonna make sure I cover that part that I just went over. We could put sparkles in here too. R89, then we're gonna go in with our R40, R46. Then your R08. And just so you know, like to do the sparkles on the dress, you can do that with any like purples, blues, whatever. Just always find where you want that light area to be because like you can't tell we didn't really shade under there. So the coloring there doesn't have to be crazy on spot with the shading. Oh, microphone. So let's just grab, you guys can grab whatever W's you want or cool grays that you want. I'll just grab C5, ooh, C5, C3, maybe C1. Again, it's super tiny, so it shouldn't be that big of a deal. So with my C5, just gonna go on that right hand side. Then my C3, and then my C, just because I want it to pop a little more, I'm gonna go back with that C5. Just blend it out a little with that C1. So there is our Tina. Super cute. Her hair came out cute. Again, though, you can put white gel pen in it. Um, just do it on the hills for more sparkle if you needed to. You can also do some stippling in the valleys if you want to. Whatever you want to do, you're allowed to do. It's your card anyway, right? I mean, you can do whatever you want. So then I just had a red frame, so I was just gonna make it a really clean and simple card, this, and then maybe some gems on it. So I'm gonna glue it down and then I'll trim the back off later. That's excessive. So we're just gonna grab some glue. Ooh, just grab some glue. Yeah, I'm really not a fan of wavy hair. I feel like I have fun when I do it, but it never ends up looking how I thought it would look in my head. I'm sure we've all had that experience before where you think it's gonna, you have your what you think you're gonna do with your project, and then you do it, and you're like, oh, it didn't come. And sometimes it surprises you because it comes out better than you thought it was gonna be. Sometimes it comes out. You copy me. Pretty sure you colored her like I did mine. Did you give her a red dress in the digital? I don't remember, Cubby. All right, so I'm just gonna slap this on again. I'm just gonna trim the white off later. I also am really a crappy mat cutter. I don't know why. That's why I like card mats. But then I can just go. I just like to cheat, I think, honestly. And then I just kind of go underneath it, trim it off. Nobody's going to see that. So I don't mind, right? Like, you don't see that. Well, now you do because I'm showing you. But yeah, and then you're going to glue it on your card front anyway, so you should see some of the backs. Seriously, Stephen will kill me, but there's a lot of cards that we do that are fake cards. They're just like fronts of cards that have no backs, or some of our backs will have like a big old gaping hole. Yeah, it's kind of funny. Anyways, so we're gonna do this, and then we're gonna add some. I think I got some jelly dots and diamonds that we can maybe put on her, but just to help a little more with that sparkle effect. I couldn't find my card mat die, so that's why I used the frame instead. And whoop, okay, and put this is a corner here. Just gotta cut that. All right. Oop. All righty. Woo! All right, so there. Oh, we forgot to do dots in her eyes. So white gel pen again, your medium, your fine point, whatever you want. I really wish I knew what brand this one was. Maybe I could Google the barcode number on it, because this really is the best gel pen I have. I do like the jelly rolls. But that one's still my best. So we have that. Now my laser printer has been printing these little stray marks lately. I don't know why. It's very annoying. Um, so we have to put something to cover it. So I have I think they're called cherry. I don't even know what color. We have these. Then I also have the diamonds. Now, technically, I would not put the diamonds on there because these are not flat. These are more for shaker. But I mean, the top of the diamond is is flat, right? So I mean, I could glue it on to give some sparkle there, oop, if I wanted as well. So I'm going to do that. But let's get these jelly dots on first because those are going to be more of a pain in the booty, I think. Oops, that was a big glob of glue. Hold on. Scrap piece of paper, where'd you go? That's a big glob. Well, I guess we're getting it on your fingernail, man. That's it. Oops, okay. And our picky uppies. This tool I love, but on the jellies, it never like releases them when I put them down. Oh, it did it. See, it wanted me to be a liar to you guys today. Normally it doesn't. I like can't get it not to put. That was beautiful. It did it twice for me today. Okay, so now our little diamonds. I guess we can. Oh, that's going to be a lot of glue for this little diamond. But let's just see what happens with the diamonds. See, now the diamonds won't release. It's always got to be something. Let's see if I can try that again. Stick. Hey, no. Maybe I should have just used like silver sequins. Maybe the diamonds wasn't a good idea after all. Let's see. Whoa! They're flying all over now. Good, that's the flat side. Gotta make sure I use the top side of the diamond. Lordy. They're so tiny too, so it's not easy to get it to be where you want it to be. Well, this one can slide over. Let's see. Oh, come on. You guys are used to bloopers with me, so it's not nothing new there. All right, those two are down. This one, you kind of have to look at the diamond too, because can you see it's got that little pointed part? Because I usually put these in shakers, but I figured I don't make cards as often. Wait, which is the side I need? This. Sheesh. Sheesh. Did I get the diamond side or? Oh my goodness. Yeah, maybe not use diamonds on yours. Use sequins. Yeah, that's not the flat side, I can tell. Where? Oh, thank goodness the glue dries clear because this would look like a hot mess otherwise. One more. One more. Jeez Louise. Close that diamond box. We don't want any more diamonds on it. Okay, so there is our little Tina. Went out of the lines a little on her, so I can just gel pin that real quick and easy wherever I went out. You could always put, some gray marker on the bottom so that looks like she's standing on something. You could do some stippling on the background. The last card that I did that was a clean background. I don't know where it went, but I just did like a yellow haze. But here she, oh, missed here. This might not clean up well because it's red. Okay, not so bad. But I love her little lips. I think they're super cute. But there we go. So there is our medium dark skin, our hills and valley hair, and our sparkly dress. And all I have to do is slap this sucker on the card base. And she is ready to go. And you guys know normally I throw my cards away. I don't keep them, but I said I'm gonna do better in 2024. So if you are interested in me mailing this card to you, just drop the word me in the comments and I will randomly pick someone and I will get this mailed off to you this week. Okay, you guys have a great night. Thank you for being with us. I don't know. You'd have to let me know if the streaming part worked, if you enjoyed it, if it was it weird having the split screens or not with me having my head down the whole time. Because obviously we can't have volume on the second video. I don't know why, but we'll figure it out. Anyways, thank you for joining me. I will see you soon. There will be more videos coming, and they should have been on YouTube, but we will figure that out. Some of them will be recorded, some of them will be live streamed again. But thank you for coming out and have a great one. All right, you guys, have a good night. Bye.